How's it going, everybody? This is the C-Jack podcast. Like I told y'all before, I would bring you this Battleground Aftermath podcast. I realize it's a little late getting it out there, but better late than never is what I was always told. Anyway, we've had some very exciting things happen at the Battleground Pay-Per-View and the Battleground Kickoff show, so we're going to get into some of that, and honestly, I don't think the WWE really could have done a whole lot better for this pay-per-view. It's leading up to the next pay-per-view, which was SummerSlam, and I really believe that they're going to have a really good card this year for SummerSlam. Hopefully they keep picking these storylines out the way they are, doing a good job on them. They've got some things they can improve on. We'll kind of get into that as I go through this, see where the room for improvement lies, whether it's actually the writers themselves or if it is actually the talent. So we're going to get into that as well. We're just going to break everything down match by match, and I'm going to tell you my opinion on it, and I'm going to kind of give these matches a rating. The rating system is going to be 1 star, absolutely worst match ever, 5 stars as always, best match, instant classic, has a very good potential at some point being my match of the week. So, without further ado, I would like to jump on into this thing, and we're going to start with the kickoff show. Now, if you didn't realize this, the WWE kickoff show for each pay-per-view goes on YouTube, I think Yahoo. I'm not sure if it still goes on Yahoo or not, but it is on YouTube. It's most likely somehow you can get to it on Facebook. I'm sure you can. I know you can get to it to the network. That's how I watch it. So it's YouTube. I'm sure they got postings on Facebook. They have the network. And I'm sure if you just Google it, you can find it. It's not that hard to find. So the kickoff show is actually the free portion of the pay-per-view, for those of you guys that don't know. And actually, this was actually a pretty good kickoff show. The match for the kickoff show was the Usos versus Breezango, which the Breezango is the team of Tyler Breeze and Fandango. It's actually wasn't a bad match. You can tell they're really giving Breezango a push, though, because, well, obviously they won. So Breezango's really getting that push. I'm not real sure whether this tag team is going to be over or not. They're going to push him until they can't push him anymore. I can pretty much tell you that. But whether or not this tag team is going to get over is yet to see. I don't see it happening. But then again, they may change up a few things and end up getting over. They do have potential. I don't want to exclude them for having potential, but I would like to see some different things than just the same old song and dance, if you will. Because, I mean, honestly, they've kind of sort of got they got that pretty boy thing going on. We've seen it before. We've seen it with Dolph Ziggler. We've seen it with Cody Rhodes. We've seen it with The Miz here and there. It's just kind of another person being all full of themselves is basically what this tag team is. So we can see some improvement from them. It would be awesome, but unless they start improving and kind of change up their characters, we might be able to see these guys get over. Usos, you ain't got nothing to say about them. Usos are the Usos. They're over. They've been over, and that's all there is to it. I mean, honestly, I'm going to just say this. They're Samoan. Enough said. Because if you take a look at the history of WWE, all Samoans, they got it going on. They have talent. There just really hasn't been a Samoan that isn't over to this point. So I would have gave that match probably about 3 stars. It was about an average match, but of course it's free. They're not going to give you a 5-star match on a free show. I mean, they can, but they're just going to give you a filler. They're not going to give you anything spectacular that they can make money off of. Another cool thing that I want to point out is if you didn't watch the Battleground kickoff show, Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan were actually They're giving the interview every kickoff show. They do an interview with somebody where you can actually send them your own tweets and they will answer questions. And Foley possibly leaked the fact that Daniel Bryan might be being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, which honestly I 100% would agree with that. I feel like he's earned it, and every year they kind of have one of those newer guys that just got out as the big star. So, of the Hall of Fame and the head of the class, if you will. So, honestly, I believe that Daniel Bryan would actually be a pretty good head of class for the Hall of Fame this year. Last year we had Sting. So, this year, possibly Daniel Bryan. Then, the way this all came about and where he possibly leaked it is they were saying, here with the Hall of Famer, Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan, and Mick Foley said, we're both Hall of Famers. And Daniel Bryan's like, shh, not yet. And so I'm kind of thinking that might be in the future, and Daniel Bryan was trying to just play it cool and be like, oh no, thanks, you're flattering me, but... So I'm thinking maybe Foley might have leaked it, not for sure, might have been planned, but regardless... That's kind of one of the most interesting parts I took out of the kickoff show. We might have possibly seen leaked information for the next class of Hall of Fame for 2017, which would be cool because, honestly, Daniel Bryan would be a great head of class. I totally give the guy props. He totally turned the wrestling world upside down. Okay, now that I'm done running my gums about all that, spewing shit out my mouth, now let's get into the real nitty-gritty Battleground Pay-Per-View results, aftermath, and what this could mean for the WWE going forward. Alright, so the very first match was Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Charlotte and Dana Brooks. Honestly, I think they should have put this match more toward the middle of the card, and I'll tell you which match that they should have switched out with it when we get there. But nonetheless, it was an alright match. Sasha Banks actually ended up winning the match for her team by making Charlotte submit to her bank statement. So, like I said, both teams actually were very good had very good competitors in them, very talented. Bayley, if you don't know who she is, she's a talent down on NXT. That was her first actual main break through the roster. And hopefully we'll see some more of Bayley up on the main rosters here soon. Because kid's got talent, I'll give her that. She's got some talent, and she's actually doing pretty good at laying her stuff in, which... Sometimes we see people get brought up that aren't really laying their stuff in. They're just more or less over and good on the mic than anything. So, out of all, I'd give this match probably about 3.5, 4 stars. It was a pretty entertaining match. Had a few slow points, but wasn't too bad all in all. The next match was The New Day versus the Wyatts. Remember, this was a 6-man tag team match. So the championship was not in any way involved in the decision for who would be the new champion. So even with New Day losing this match and the Wyatts winning, the Wyatts did not become champions. The New Day, like I said, lost the match by way of pinfall. Bray Wyatt ended up pinning Xavier Woods, which... to be honest, we've seen a lot of foreshadowing to it in recent weeks. All in all, I'd give it about a 3-star match. It was pretty good, but then again, had some slow points. I will say it was an entertaining match. Just could have been a little bit better for my standards. The next match was Zack Ryder versus Rusev for the United States Championship. Zack Ryder actually put up a hell of a fight against Rusev. I'll give him that. I'd give this match probably about 2.5 to 3 stars as well. It wasn't the best match, but it wasn't the worst match. It's the Rusev doesn't really have a whole lot of things in his repertoire right now. So Rusev's just a powerhouse. Is what he is. He goes out there, does a few moves, crushes people, and that's that. But I guess when you have the power of Rusev, you don't have to have a whole lot of moves in your repertoire, though, either. But I will give Zack Ryder credit where credit is due. He really did bring out his A game, and he gave Rusev a fight. Although he lost, hopefully we'll see Ryder get another chance at some championships in the near future. Anyway, the next match was a great match. I'll give it to him. It was phenomenal. It was awesome. And both these guys really did leave it all in the ring. Easily a 4.5 to 5 star match. Easily. Just because they really did pull out all the stops on each other. They brought the crowd up. And really, I felt bad for anybody that had to follow these guys. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. This is the match I was talking about. An amazing match, like I was saying. These guys brought their fucking A game to this pay-per-view. Honestly, we seen Zayn finally come out victorious ahead of Owens. I'm sure Owens is going to be pissed off later on. And at some point, we will see Kevin Owens attack Sami Zayn within the next few weeks. I firmly believe this, and I firmly believe they will have one more match, possibly at SummerSlam. And hopefully they will add a special stipulation to this match that would be something like loser leaves brand. One of them gets put on SmackDown, so they're not having their paths cross all the time. Because being on Raw, both of them on Raw, it's just waiting for a disaster to happen. One needs to be on SmackDown. I don't give a damn who. Just put one of them on SmackDown. The reason why I say I don't give a damn who is because both of these guys are very talented in their own right. Both of these guys can really go out there every night. And they leave it all in the ring. All blood, sweat, and tears are out there and entertaining us, the fans. So I really got to give it to them. Like I said, instantly 4.5 to 5 star match. That's enough said. The next match, I felt really bad for these guys considering the match they had to follow up was The Miz versus Darren Young for the Intercontinental Championship. And honestly, I'm not sure who won this match because it ended in interference. Basically what happened was Maurice ended up pushing Bob Backlund back and slapped him in the face. And then Maurice fell down and pretended like Bob Backlund pushed her. So this resulted in The Miz getting out of the ring to start something with Bob Backlund. And then Darren Young got involved in it, and that was just the end of the match. So honestly, I'm not sure who won the match, but I do know, regardless of whether it was count out or whether it was disqualification, regardless, The Miz is still our Intercontinental Championship. I guarantee this is going to continue on to SummerSlam. And on SummerSlam, we will probably see some stipulation added to the match where Miz and Darren Young have to be out there by themselves or something. I'm sure they're going to bring out something just for SummerSlam. Just because the fact that it's SummerSlam. They got to bring out all the stops for this thing. It's the WrestleMania of this summer. So enough about that match. Like I said, it was crazy. It wasn't quite all it could be. I'd give it probably about 2 stars, all in all. But with that being said, I'm sure we will see a lot better match at SummerSlam. Anyway, next match was Natty versus Becky Lynch. It wasn't a bad match, but it was alright. This match is the one that should have been at the start of the show, I believe, and they should have traded places with the Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Charlotte and Dana Brooks match. But nonetheless, it was more toward the middle of the card. It wasn't a bad match. It was probably about 3 stars. I forgot to write this match down, to be honest with you, because when I do this thing, I gotta write everything down, give myself little notes. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't come out here every week, flap my gums, and wing the whole fucking show. I can't do that. My memory just isn't that great. So I got to give myself some type of pointers to let me know what the topic is, and then I can bring it to you guys. So honestly, I forgot to write this match down. I'm actually surprised at myself that I remembered it. But if I remember correctly, I believe Natalya won. I may be wrong, but I believe Natalya won. So anyway, like I said, that was an alright match. Wasn't the best, but could have been better. Now the next match, or the next 3 parts, the last 3 parts of the pay-per-view, I should say, were awesome. The last 3 parts of the pay-per-view, I'd say it took up probably about the last hour and a half. Man, I didn't want to get up for anything. If I had to take a piss, I was holding it. I knew that. Because there wasn't a single part I wanted to miss of this damn thing. So, with that being said, let's get on to the last 3 parts of this pay-per-view and close this podcast out. Alright, so the very next match was Enzo and Cass with John Cena versus The Club. And honestly, match was, no pun intended, but phenomenal. Match was fucking phenomenal, if I can say that. I mean, Enzo and Cass came out first with John Cena, and man, they were putting on a promo like I had never seen before with these two. And John Cena was out there just enjoying it. I mean, he was just out there being a fan like us. He was letting Enzo and Cass go out there, do their shit, and I gotta give credit to where credit is due. Enzo is on that mic like no other. He makes that mic his bitch. So, honestly, Enzo and Cass, man, you guys got a bright future ahead of you in this WWE, if I do say so myself. You guys are over, and you're gonna stay over. I can give you that. Because we all know one thing. Once you're over, you're over. So I don't see them breaking up these guys anytime soon. And thank God Almighty that they are on Raw, and we can watch them every week. And so, enough flapping about the promo. Let's actually get into the fucking match. This match was actually a very good match. I would easily give it a 4 stars. Not quite as good as the Zayn Owens match, but then again, you've got a couple guys in here that aren't necessarily tag team guys. I mean, yes, I know AJ Styles has been all over the world with these guys, and he's tagged all over the world with these guys. But he's still more of a main guy. He's more of a singles competitor. And John Cena in his own right is just clearly a singles competitor. But nonetheless, they actually did do a pretty good job at this tag team match. And it was very exciting. And Enzo and Cass, along with John Cena, got that Winsky. And man, that crowd was on fire. I just can't get over how good this match was and how great that promo was, man. Fucking awesome promo. But I'm sure you guys don't want to hear me flap my gums the rest of the show about Enzo and Cass's promo. So let's get on to the next topic. Randy Orton, made his WWE on-screen return last night at the Battleground Pay-Per-View via the highlight reel with Chris Jericho. And oh my God, guys, I was talking up the Enzo and Cass promo so much. Man, I gotta talk this one up too. Because Orton, he gave me a promo he gave us a promo like I'd never seen before from Randy Orton. It was awesome. It was funny. I was laughing my ass off. And the best part was toward the end, is the very end of it, where he acted like he was getting ready to where Chris Jericho was just waiting for an RKO. He expected it. And finally he started to act like he was going to walk away. Randy Orton turned him around, acted like he was getting ready to give him an RKO, didn't actually deliver it, started laughing, bending over, telling him to leave, and then out of nowhere, RKO. Yes, RKO out of nowhere. It was fucking awesome, man. And another cool part was earlier in the promo where Orton says, how many suplexes does it take to get to Suplex City? 18, 19, 20, something like that, 21. Yeah, well, it only takes one RKO to get to Viperville. No enhancement needed. That was funny, and honestly, I don't think you were supposed to say that because they were both out there laughing about that. And Chris Jericho says, you're going to get in trouble for that. And Randy Orton didn't actually say it on the mic, but he said, yeah, you're probably right. So that was funny too, man. I love Randy Orton. I love that he's back, and I'm glad he came back face, just for the simple fact that he's been gone for over 9 months. I do believe Orton will eventually turn heel again, just because Orton does play heel a little bit better than he does face. But I'm glad he came back face, and he's just out there having fun, being himself. And you can tell he missed it. You can tell when he went out there last night, he has missed the crowd. And I don't see him retiring or leaving us anytime soon. So anyway, like I said, Orton versus Brock Lesnar will be at SummerSlam. Huge match. You better bet your ass that after SummerSlam, after it's over, I'm going to get on here, I'm going to hit that fucking record button, and I'm going to be giving you guys an Aftermath podcast for SummerSlam too. But that's next month. Let's get on to this month's main event for the Battleground Pay-Per-View. It was Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. Now remember, because of the draft split last Tuesday night, Ambrose is now on SmackDown. And when a champion gets drafted to a show, it doesn't matter. They take the championship with them. So Ambrose was on SmackDown now. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are on Raw. So in order for SmackDown to keep their championship on SmackDown, Ambrose has to win this match. And when he did, man, these three former Shield members had a war out there. And I even seen some alliances I didn't think were going to happen. I seen Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins actually teaming up on Roman Reigns. Completely fucking unexpected from what I can tell. Because I expected Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose to team up on that little slimy snake, Seth Rollins. But man, I can say Seth Rollins is a slimy snake and he's a backstabber and everything else. But I got to give credit where credit is due. Seth Rollins is actually a really good competitor, and he's got my respect. I got to give him that. But nonetheless, we've seen Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins teaming up on Roman Reigns, trying to take Reigns out of the equation completely. Didn't quite happen so well, but nonetheless, we still seen some pretty cool, unlikely alliances happen. But after Ambrose teamed up with Rollins to help take Reigns out, Rollins, a little slimy snake he is, grabbed a chair and started bashing them both, just like when we seen the breakup of the Shield. Man, did that take me back. Anyway, like I said, Ambrose came out winner. I'd give this match probably about 4.5 stars. But it was pretty good. Had a little bit of room for improvement, but all in all, it was pretty good. And Dean Ambrose, you brought that title on home to SmackDown. I'm proud of you, son. I'm really proud of you. And so now, what will we see for Raw? What kind of champion will we have on Raw now? That's yet to be said. Honestly, I can tell you because I'm actually recording this after I already watched Monday Night Raw, and I'm just going to throw this one in here. It's going to be my freebie. I'll talk about it more on the next podcast that I do later this week. But here's the freebie. The new championship for Raw will actually be the WWE Universal Championship. They didn't make it the World Heavyweight Championship, which I'm glad, because everybody knew that title was second best. But instead, they created an all-new championship and made it a Universal Championship. So, hopefully, they kind of bring some credibility into it. Really, it just depends on who you have holding it. I am a firm believer that the championship itself doesn't mean nothing unless if the right people are holding it. So, that's really all I'm going to rant and rave about the whole new champion on Raw. Another cool thing that I can't wait to see on Raw is this Cruiserweight division coming in. I just can't wait for that. And if you haven't, like I said before, check out that Cruiserweight Classic on the network. Even if you don't have the network and you've never subscribed before, go ahead, get your free month in. I'm not going to tell you to buy it. I'm not going to endorse them. But I am going to tell you, go at least get your free month in, because it's worth it. The stuff you get on there is worth at least just checking it out for a free month. I ain't going to tell you to do more than that. From there, I'm going to let you judge, because they're not paying me to endorse them. If they want me to endorse them, I will start getting on here and hooting and hollering about how it's only, well, you know the price. But not, like I said, not endorsing them unless they start sending me a paycheck in the mail. And right now, I ain't getting no WWE paycheck, so you ain't going to hear me endorsing nothing from WWE. I'm just going to talk about them as a fan, because that's all I am, as a fan. Anyway, until next time, I'm glad you guys hit that download button, hit that subscribe button, and you hit that play button, of course. And you started to listen to me flap my gums, as you do every week, talk about what we all love, the WWE. And I want to thank you for it. I can't stress how much I want to thank my fans enough. Because without you, it wouldn't be possible. It truly wouldn't. I'd be putting this thing out there for no one. So I really want to thank you guys. As always, you can hit me up on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. And SoundCloud. Of course I'm on SoundCloud. SoundCloud's my home. Except for this podcast. Imagine that. My Aftermath podcasts are exclusive to YouTube. How cool is that? I made you guys a YouTube exclusive just for you guys here on YouTube. Just because, to give you guys the thanks for listening to me flap my gums every week. So, like I said, until next time, thanks for listening to me flap my gums, spew shit out my mouth. This has been C-Jack, and you're listening to C-Jack Podcast. I will catch your ass later.